Episode 9 is often described as a film full of chaos, action, adventure, sacrifice, and losses by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of people are really looking forward to seeing in this movie is exactly how J.J. is going to utilize all the different action sequences in the film that's really going to add up to the overall theme of Episode 9, of it being an all-out war and a war to end all wars. Now, myself personally, I'm very interested in the characters of Mara, Kylo Ren, and Rey as far as the sequel trilogy characters go. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art, and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with Kylo, Rey, and Mara. Specifically, a description of Kylo Ren piloting his new TIE fighter design over the surface of a planet and dropping bombs on a Resistance base with many Resistance fighters retreating. It's described that Kylo has 2 wingmen by his side that are new types of TIE fighters with 4 wings. Another goes over Kylo landing on the battlefield and exiting the ramp, directing blaster fire and deflecting blaster fire from Resistance fighters and piloting while walking down the ramp of his new TIE fighter design in the film. The next goes over Rey with an ignited blue lightsaber standing in the middle of the battlefield, watching Kylo's actions in the distance. It's described that they eventually see each other from afar. The next goes over Rey using the Force, attempting to block falling debris from the base on top of Finn and Poe, trying to protect them. Lastly, sequences of Keri Russell's character codenamed Mara, now dressed in a purple suit of sorts with a helmet, using a weapon similar to Chewie's bowcaster against a couple of incoming A-wings from the sky, aiming at one of the trenches that she is in. It's said that the weapon Mara uses launches a tracking missile against an A-wing, causing it to crash in the middle of the battlefield. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this and why this honestly sounds like a very exciting sequence toward the end of the movie and really does fit, that all-out war and that action-packed movie that J.J. Abrams is trying to sell here to close the Skywalker saga. So first things first, I want to go over Kylo Ren. I'm really excited to see this new TIE fighter design that's actually going to be used by Kylo himself over the surface of this planet that eventually lands, and the ramp actually retracts and opens up, and we do get to see Kylo Ren walking down the ramp, deflecting blaster fire from Resistance fighters, and using it against them. Now, this to me sounds like it's something that we kind of saw in the very beginning of Episode 7, The Force Awakens, except to the point where Kylo has to protect himself, coming out of his ship, using his saber in order to deflect blaster fire. Sounds like it's going to be an interesting sequence for sure, involving the character of Kylo Ren by JJ. Now, the next one that I do want to go over that really does have me very interested in this sequence is, of course, Rey trying to protect both Finn and Poe by using the Force and blocking debris from, of course, the collapsing Resistance base on top of both Finn and Poe. Now, this sounds like a callback to what we got in Attack of the Clones, where Dooku basically destroys that steel column and it's about to fall on top of Anakin and Obi-Wan, where Yoda has to stop the falling debris. It sounds very similar in a sense to that sequence, and we can already see all the different parallels that JJ is trying to draw from the prequels and the originals, which honestly I do respect that, because at the end of the day, the whole entire Star Wars franchise, the whole concept of it all it's like poetry, it rhymes. When you look at each and every trilogy and each and every movie within the trilogy, they do in fact mirror each other. And that's what I love about the Star Wars movies, is that there are so many subtle differences here and there that are yet the same, where you actually can see, how it's mirrored and how it's paralleled to past films and the prequels and the originals, in tune with this whole entire action sequence, and she's going to be a part of the 3rd act of the film in this major land battle sequence. So it seems as though that either A, she's a Knight of Ren, or B, she's going to be a bounty hunter in this film of some kind. Other than that, it could be, a ruse for all we know. When we look at the character of Mara in the marketing, they could always do different things that'll make us change our mind when we go ahead and see the film. But as far as everything goes, this sounds like it is indeed a very action-packed sequence that a lot of people are just going to enjoy. Like I say, the one that also stands out to me is when Rey and Kylo see each other from afar, across the battlefield, and they do sense each other within the Force itself. So all 3 of these characters will have a scene basically on the same exact planet together during the third act of the movie, which is good to know. That tells us that Mara's character, Keri Russell's character, will make it to the very end of the movie, which also leads me to believe that there's still a possibility that she is indeed going to be the lead Knight of Ren or a Knight of Ren. Not quite sure why she would have a purple suit of some kind with a black helmet, because we do know that the Knights of Ren don't wear purple. So I'm not quite sure exactly what that all means. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.